the way that we started class by downloading that folder and swapping it out. Is everybody able to do that? You were?
Oh yeah, I was able to do it. I was making sure. The certain folders are supposed to be right.
Which folder? So you should have pasted in the ERPLab version 5, basically into your plugins folder for EEGLab. Did everybody do that? Did anybody not do that? Okay, I'm assuming then that everyone has, and we'll start working with MATLAB. So open up your MATLab.
Oh, things like GitHub are what I mean.
I'm sorry?
Things like GitHub. I'm over the ERPLab file.
Yeah, you're not going to need to okay, so everyone has MATLAB open and we can start. And what's the, so has everybody basically made sure you had your path set already? Right, so we can check that. Okay. Let's see here. I should have this projected. No, it's not. There we go. Okay. So you can check to see that you have your path set by just clicking the path and making sure that within your search paths it includes your desktop Site 433X in the EEGLab folders. So make sure you have that. If you don't, you could hit add with subfolders and navigate to that. But this was all stuff we did last couple classes ago, so I'm assuming that everyone's good. Don't do it twice. You don't need to add your path twice. Okay. So you have that. Now what we ought to be able to do is you can either type in EEGLab or you can click on that little shortcut that we created last class. Either way works. Let's do that and open up the EEGLab GUI. You guys remember GUI stands for Graphic User Interface? Okay. So we're going to have this graphic user interface. Now, does anybody not have this? Okay, but wait. So, is that not working for you, Bobby? Well, yeah.
My path isn't set right. It's not right. Because hers looks like this too.
Okay. So, what we do, you want to say the path right now. So all you do is go add subfolders. And you're going to navigate to wherever your EEGLab is. So go to your recycling bin. Store. And we'll restore that stuff. Yeah. Okay. So you want to grab that and put it back. Just kill your add value. You want to first just put this back into it. So put it in Site 433X. And then you want to go into there. These are the instructions for saying. So come in here, you want to go harmonies, and you want to delete the ERPLab 6. So, yep, just, and then go to your ERPLab 5. And you should have had these series up here. You have to take that and drop it into, you want to paste that into the puzzle folder. You can drag it. You can drag it in there, and then put it back in there now. Just go in there, and have it drop it in. No. Now you should be able to come here, go to add subfolders, navigate back up to there, just click that folder, just click done. Okay. There you go, that's it. Then just hit no and just for some reason it just doesn't stay free, just have to do that. It'll work for you just when you restart MATLAB each time. You just have to take something seconds. Okay. Picture, question.
I'm just having to react.
Looks like you give me try and see if it does. Yeah. I mean, that's what we said. Just a minute ago. Just verify that. Yeah, there you go. Yes, Ryan. Okay, anybody else? Questions, problems? Something not working over here? Oh, okay, cool. Well, we can do the shortcut later. Let's just do what we gotta do for class. The shortcuts are just a little extra stuff that we can do later, but okay. So everybody's good? Cool. So what we can do now is start to work with some of the data. Okay, now you might remember that last time some people had some errors trying to import the PDF files. Right? Some of you guys did? So that tends to happen. You guys had like out of memory errors. Sometimes that might happen if you're on 32-bit versions of Windows. Other times it might happen if you have other big processes running in the background. We're going to avoid that this time. We're just going to import a different type of data. Okay. And so all we're going to do is we're going to navigate to File. Okay. And we're going to go Load Existing Data Set. Okay. Now that'll bring us some options because we should have basically been our file path or our directory in this menu earlier. Our address should have been set such that we can navigate within our folder to data to EEG. And why don't we just grab number 32? It's going to be a big long name, but it's 32 re-referenced to the mastoid 0.1 Hertz high pass and 256 Hertz dot set. If you grab that, It'll load that data. Now what that big long name is it's telling us what was done to the data. Now, do you guys remember this from last week when we were starting to work on this? The first step that we do with raw data, those PDF files, and we imported it. And the first thing that we did is we want to re-reference that data to the average of our two mastoids back here. So that's what we do. And when we do it, I like to make sure that we always use good naming of the files. That way, like now, when we grab a file, we know exactly what's been done to it. So by looking at the name, it tells us it's subject number 32. It has been re-referenced to the mastoids. Great. Then remember the next thing that we did after that, importing that data, was we applied that high-pass filter to account for the drift, right? It's basically a linear detrend of the data. And so this tells us that this data has already had a 0.1 hertz high-pass filter already applied to it. Okay? So I've already done this stuff for you. I'm trying to like set you up so it's hopefully nice and easy and straightforward. Okay? The next thing that was done is we downsampled the data. So this is at 256 hertz. You guys remember we did that last class? So all that's been done already in this file, and so now we can just open it for you. Okay, so why don't we grab that file and open it. Okay, so we can point out a couple of pieces of information that it tells us about the file. Okay? It tells us how many channels per frame. Now in this case, channels means electrode size. You have 38. And we'll talk about why that is. Basically, you have your 32 main sites from the 1020 system. And then you've got your two mastoids, and you've got a handful of your eye electrodes that add to create 38. Okay? So two mastoids plus 32 is 34, right? Then VEOG, VEOG, HEOG, and HEOG. It's 4 more, 38. We have one long epoch. You guys remember what an epoch is? So what this tells us is that there's one long EEG recording. It's not sliced and diced yet into different ERPs. Okay? So you have one epoch of 900 events, because we had 300 trials when something came on the screen and in which somebody said an item memory judgment and a source memory judgment. Okay? So that's 900 things in terms of codes that were sent into the data as events. It tells us our sampling rate is at 256 hertz. And it tells us our reference electrodes are the left mastoid and the right mastoid. It tells us one thing right off the bat, that we do not have channel locations labeled. Okay? So, let me just show you a little bit about what that might mean for us. So let's go to plot channel data scroll. We'll bring up the data. Okay? Now what we want to do is we can see that it tells us all these features of each of these EEG traces of what site they're from. So you remember we labeled that earlier on the VEOG, and we labeled it on the HEOGs. Okay? It tells us what the name of all these sites are, but the computer system does not yet know the coordinates on the scalp that they are actually at. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to load channel location information. Okay? So I'll show you how to do that.
How did you get here again? I looked in
In plot channel data scroll. Now you don't have to do that now because we're going to do something else first, but this is how you did that.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Plot channel data scroll. Okay. Now what we're going to do first though is add our channel locations. So the first thing we can do is come to Edit, click on Channel Locations. Okay. So why don't we give that a shot? And it's going to bring up a little option here. Okay. You're going to click these three dots. What that basically means is browse. We want to go navigate to our own file that tells us the location of our electrodes. Okay? Does everybody see this on the screen? I should say this the other way. Does anybody not see this on the screen? Okay, everybody click on that. And let us browse. And what we're going to do is we're going to navigate back up to site 433X and go in the folder for scripts. And within scripts, we're going to click the option for electrode locations. Okay? Now, let's see here. I know that the one with 40 will work. Why don't we do that? Okay? So we're at the one that says 40 electrodes dot CED. Hit OK. And then hit OK on this option. It'll bring up a really crazy screen that looks like this. Okay, you don't have to worry about much of these details. What it does though, in case any of you guys are curious, this tells us our X, Y, and Z coordinates. So remember X, Y, and Z is our 3 dimensions? When we want to plot our 3-dimensional heads and stuff like that for our maps, we need to know where each electrode is in our 3-dimensional representation. So for every electrode, in this case it's FP1, it tells us our X, Y, and Z coordinate and all that kind of anatomical location. That's all this is. We don't have to do anything with it. It's really easy. All we're going to do is we're going to pull it up just a little bit. So drag that up so that you can see that now it says OK down here. That's all you have to hit. Super easy, right? Okay, cool.
Just hit OK.
Just hit OK. Okay. Can anybody not do that? Awesome. Easy, right? Okay, cool. One thing down. Now, let's see. What we can do is we want to move our one epoch. We want to move that one epoch into 300. Why?
It's easier to break it down and look at it.
It is easier to break it down, but why do we want to slice it into 300 trials? Because that's what we have, right? We have 300 things that we want to look at. So, excuse me. Let's look at how that next step happens. So, let's see here. I'm going to so remember, the first thing we did, right? We opened MATLAB. We made sure that we had path set. And then we opened EEGLab. And then we load data. All right, everybody remember all these steps we took? Okay, so later on, once I'm done sort of walking us through and showing you guys what our steps are for a couple sample subjects, you guys are going to be responsible for doing this to process a lot of your research data and all your subjects. Okay, so it's important that you know these steps. So I'm trying to write it down so we know that the sequence that they are done in is very important. So if you do the sequence wrong, then it might not work out right. In fact, it's probably guaranteed not to work out right. So this is our sequence. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, what do we do after we loaded the data? It's this first thing that we just did to the data.
The find the location.
Yeah, we wanted to basically add channel locations. So this is the next thing we did. So add channel locations. And we did that by virtue of within scripts, folder, it was within channel locations, and we actually had it so that the file was 40 electrodes. DOS. Okay, so that was our fifth. Right? Now, I'm going to add a little parentheses, a little bracket in between 4 and 5 here, which is that we basically re-referenced the data. We also had a high-pass filter. And we also downsampled to 256 hertz. Okay? So put that in there, a little 4.5. Because I did that for you guys already, but that's what you would normally do. Okay? So again, we opened MATLAB, we set the path. We opened EEGLab by typing EEGLab. Okay, we loaded our data. Right, went to File, Load Data. That data was already re-referenced, had a high-pass filter applied to it. It was downsampled to 256 hertz. Okay, then we added our channel locations. That's where we are right now. Okay, see here it says channel locations. Now it says yes. So we're going through all these steps because, at least some of the early ones, we know that there's artifacts in the data, right? We know that there's drift from a long period of time, recording, right? So we apply our high-pass filter, right? We did these things because we're trying to get to the data we're trying to get the data in the way that we need it in order to make sense of the brain activity to resolve our hypotheses. Okay, so we have to do all these sort of what we call pre-processing steps. Sound good? Everybody on board? Awesome. You guys are doing really good. Isn't it a lot easier when all the computers work? Yeah. Okay. So, what we're going to do next is we need to cut the data into epochs, right? We're interested in what happens related to the onset of certain events of interest, right? When our stimuli appears on the screen. So, let's take a look at that. The way that we can do that is we go to our folder or our menu for ERPLab. Okay? So here you went to menu, went to ERPLab. Within that, we're going to select the option for extract bin-based epochs. Okay? So as it's suggesting, we're pulling out epochs in the data. Okay? Now let's see, click on that and let's see what happens. Oh, no dice. We gotta create an events list first. Well, golly. We want to epoch the data not just in one long slice, but we want to slice it up into all of our events, right? Why wouldn't it let us do that? What did the message say? We got to give it a list of all of our events. Now, ERPLab calls that an events list, right? So, what this means is that, remember all of our combinations? Remember there are 75 combinations of events that we said? You have 61, 62, 63, followed by the item judgment and the source judgment. That made a 4-digit number that there were 75 possible combinations of. Everybody remember we talked about that? Now, what you need to do then, or what the system is asking us to do, is give it a list of all the events that you wanted to cut the data into pieces of. So we need to give it a list of those 75 events. How many of you guys feel like writing that right now? Probably not? No bueno? Alright. good, because I already wrote it for you. And we will have that, I'll show you just how we will go about that, okay? So here's what we're going to do. It looks like we kind of jumped the gun in coming down here to bin-based epics. The first thing it might ask us to do is create an events list. So let's click on that, and it'll give you another little sidebar option. Okay, so we're going to go to event list, and we're going to click on the option here for the very first one for create an events list. Everybody with me? Why don't you hit that right there? Okay, it's going to bring up a little menu option for us. Yes? What? Okay, did you replace the old version of ERPLab with the new version today?
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look. Version 6 here. That's not what the instructions say. You did it. Well, here, let me help you. So, probably try to delete that now. Try to delete that now. Probably won't let us do this. Yeah. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to shut down MATLAB, delete it. This is not because it's using it right now. It's not going to delete something that's using it. So just shut down your MATLAB and then delete that folder, and then you'll have to catch up. Okay. It didn't work back here either. Okay, I didn't try to find that.
Yeah. We extracted it. Did anybody else get their message? Holy jeez.
We all did. I think
Wow.
we all did.
Goodness, okay. Well, we're gonna have to fix that up. Okay, we'll fix that up. What could have happened on that? You guys all have this version 5.1.1.0?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll sort this out. We'll sort this out. Yeah. I think you might not. Are these still good? files.
Yeah.
Or it was a folder, maybe it wasn't extracted from a zip file. Okay, so, yes. Okay, let's try something else out here. We'll see if we can work around this. And 5.1.0, let's we're gonna have to do first is we can come to go to www.erpinfo.org. Okay. We're just going to download ERPLab. Okay, that'll take just a second. Sometimes it acts a little funky, and sometimes I've noticed in other classes when I've taught this, when I give a folder to people, it'll work at first, but then it'll give an error message like this, and it works just fine if you download it yourself from the original site. I don't know why that is the case. I've just noticed that this is one solution that we can use as a workaround. Question, Fit? No. Okay. So if you come to erpinfo.org, this is the website of that Dr. Luck has. He wrote the textbook, he wrote a lot of the software. That's actually Steve Luck there with his assistant in the cabinet applying some ERPs. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to navigate to download that. And we're going to go to ERPLab Toolbox. Okay. So you're going to go there. And we're going to scroll down to the option of download. Okay. We're going to click on that. And you are not going to download the newest version because it probably still has some bugs in it. We are going to scroll down even further. And we're going to find 5. Let's try this one here. That is 5.1.1.0. Okay. Grab that one, hit the download button. Okay. Now while that's happening, we're going to need, once that's downloaded, we're going to have to paste that into our EEGLab plugins folder. It will not let us delete the existing version because it's being used by MATLAB right now. So we need to shut down MATLAB, just X out, kill all of MATLAB. Back to our folder. Okay. Within there, we're going to. So see how this is my existing folder of 5.1.1.0. It's within Site 433X, within our EEGLab folder, within the folder for plugins. I'm going to highlight this and I'm just going to delete it. Okay. Now, what I can do is I can go to my downloads folder, right-click on the folder I just downloaded, browse to the spot that I want to put that at, which is right plugins. So what this is doing is just replacing that folder that we had. Yes, sir. Yeah. for yes?
So we wanted to do this first before.
Delete the existing one, because something's funky, it's not working over here, so it's gotta go. It is, just pop it back. And I would make sure that people are plugging in.
No, I haven't yet. I'm really going. I know, so it's.
Okay, let's kind of keep that to a minimum. I know we have downtime in class, but is this working out for everybody? Anybody having trouble?
We just click.
It should be done downloading. It's a really short, quick thing.
We did.
Down just a little bit. Stop where it says down. Okay, so has everybody finished this? Has anybody not finished? Okay. What? You guys are good? You caught up? When you're done, you can reopen up MATLAB and make sure you have your path set and that it should be a little bit good. So let's yeah. Yeah, you ready to delete the old version?
Some technical everything is open, it's like, you guys already done. Oh.
Working good for you? Did you apply channel operations? Did you apply the channel location?
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, you did? That's not channel location.
No, I mean,
You just have like a collection of those little bottles.
For my privilege,
You can't see it.
That's what I noticed. Because I noticed you had it on Monday.
yeah. Sometimes I get some
I literally did you delete it also? We have a ton of Starbucks at my house. Yeah. I literally got mad at my dad because I had this mug of mine in my nose. It's like, you know, when you take crayons and like sponge it. Oh, I don't have wires and it's not. It's like that, but on the top. Sometimes it's a little design that's on the Starbucks and it's a mug. It's like, I don't know. My dad was taking the mug and was like, that's my mug. That's mine. I use it. And he's like, oh, like, why are you doing it? Yeah, I'm using it. I need my coffee for a 9:20 a.m. Fuck, dude.
So you have it back or is that?
Yeah, he back. Well, no, especially because I'm like, dude, we got like 3 weeks for Christmas. In the last like 3 years, we got like 3 or 4 new travel mugs. And we got it like 1 year, it was great because we got one of these little like cups that for like, it looks like a regular like soda cup. There's a washable one. We got him one that was black and very, very sparkly letters. It's like, somebody stole it from that. Why do you know what trust me? Because those
So you might want to keep notes on the steps.
yeah.
Okay, good.
But yeah, so my aunt,
Because now,
she took it to work.
have notes on how to do what we're talking about. And I say, hey, go again. Because now this is kind of that time. How are you guys doing? Everybody, you guys good? Okay. You guys good? You should be done with it. But that shouldn't have to be a whole download. You just get your license. Just reassociate the license. Okay, we'll work with that. Okay, we just work together with what can I do to help, please?
We're trying to move it to her, so the file.
Is this the mobile one? Is this when you Yeah, you did. You have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, something's wrong here. We have to. We should talk about that in class. Okay, that's okay. We'll look at this thing. No, valid. Okay, so it sounds like most people, you guys good back? I can't hear you. Yeah? Okay, good. It should only take a minute to do, and so that'll be good. So when you're done, do what we already did. Load in the file, apply the channel locations. You guys, I'm just do those 2 things for now.
Under script, right?
Yes. So I'll just write this again over. Again, we're gonna awesome. Don't go forward. Okay, awesome. So we're
I just don't
for what?
to like.
Don't do anything more than what we
Oh,
talked
just leave
about.
this alone?
Just do exactly what we talked about.
So just this.
Perfect. Perfect.
We good.
Everybody good? Ladies in the back?
Oh, just load up for ERPLab and then create.
How you guys doing? Work?
Did you already set the? Yeah, no, the top. That looks pretty low.
Good job. You guys said you're okay.
Yeah, I was like, I got 4 fires. Can I keep this or do you want that? No. That's how I know. I think it's done. Can I keep this or do you think that?
Warren said,
You got this here?
I didn't know.
And then just you go like this, like being like, what, that's what just don't stay. Yeah, no, like I got a second bag of chips that fell out of the vending machine. That's what it is. Like my favorite, goodie bags from work. And what it is, Sharpies, because all of us know the Sharpies are like freaking out. It's pure all the time. And I go over to some of that, and I don't mean to, but I'll bring the Sharpie and they'll forget that it's not mine.
Yes, just click on it.
So that's a perfect example. I don't need to. Like, have it right there, put it back in your pocket. So now
That's not what.
don't have money.
We've already got one.
And Did you guys like for everyone I like gather? I like
So that's what, did you break your...
that's sure something else. Okay. As long as it's working, Charlie. Anyway, so like I got so I got 100 Sharpies. I got like 24 packs of Sharpies. And it was like $18, so I gave him a Sharpie. And then I put them all these cute little cups. And then I like wrapped them with this like plastic that that's had reindeer on it. Well, like I know what it is. When I was done doing this for everybody. So I said, so I was like, I made like I took a tin and filled it with candy, and I made us like a candy dish for us. So my sister's fun lid to save time stupid lid. Yeah, the candy is in here. Because in my house, because my dad didn't get one of those, because like the candy too. So much in this. So it's so good. It's so short. It's so good. The crap right in like
Okay, ladies, are you kidding? Okay, you guys are good. Okay, you guys are good. You guys are good? Ladies and gentlemen over there? No? Not working? You should be. Okay, ladies, you guys are good? Ladies, you guys are good? So? Gooch? That's true.
We're saying good.
Okay.
We're good.
How are you guys looking at it?
Did you set the locations?
Perfect. Great job.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so are we good?
Okay, guys, here's what we'll do now. We're going to just pick up where we left off. Okay? So you're going to do the events list option. You're going to create events list. Hopefully everybody has that up. Okay? We'll see how I catch up here in a second. Okay? Set the path to where we were. Now, you know what we'll do first? Let's imagine, what if our next step crashes everything that we just did? What if the MATLAB craps out on you and it says, error, and we got to close MATLAB down again. And then we got to do something else again maybe, and then you've got to load it all up, and do you want to have to load the channel locations again? No. So, if you have your little window for Create Events List open, close it. We're going to save the file first with your channels added to it. That way it's always in there and you don't have to do it again. Okay? So, close it out. You'll see I'm going to add my channel locations here in just a second.
You went under edit and then you went to.
Sorry?
You were gonna have that. Oh, okay.
I'm just catching up to you guys. You're
Oh,
ahead.
okay. Okay. Oh, no, you don't. Go to file? No, edit, sorry.
Okay, so you guys used to be up here, and I said X out of this, right? So we're going to X out of that, You shouldn't have to do anything. All it was is press one X on the thing. Okay? So, all we're going to do is go to File, Save Current Dataset As. Okay, see what I'm having on the screen there? Save Current Dataset As. Okay? Now what you can do is do this little trick. So you don't have to type this all out. You just touch this once, and it'll come down here. We're going to add a little ending to it. Okay? We're going to add a little suffix. Okay, so now I come in here, and after 256 Hertz, I'm going to hit the underscore key, and we'll add the word chan blocks, which is short for channel locations. Okay? So real easy, all we're doing is we're creating a new file, and we're telling it that, remember how I said it's really useful to use these little labels in our titles so that you know exactly what was done? That's what we're doing. We're adding this in so that we know exactly what was done to this data. You just type in underscore chan locks for channel locations. Is that a problem for anyone? Just hit OK, and you should be good.
Okay, or next
Or save. Save this one.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, it's not complicated at all. It's perfectly fine. Yes?
For mine, when it opens up, I don't have that ERP I see it goes to
Right. You don't. So did you do the thing where... Okay, so what we're going to do, okay, is now look at what it's done. We obviously have channel notifications. It's saved, and in our little file name here, it's added this channel locks. Okay. So now we know not only does it have a high pass filter applied to it, it's been downsampled to 256 Hertz, and we've applied channel locations. Now let's get back to what we were trying to do, right? We're trying to add in the data. Let's go to ERPLab, let's go to EventList, and let's go to create an EEG event list. Okay? So we're going to go to ERPLab, EventList, and then create EEG event list. When you do that, it'll bring up another little GUI, or graphic user interface. Okay? Now what we're going to do here is it gives you a bunch of options. You're just going to click this middle button on the bottom that says Advanced. Okay? Okay. When you hit Advanced, this is a way to create a more detailed list of the events. Now remember, we have 75 of these SARs, right? Okay, and none of you guys said you wanted to write a list of the 75 things, right? Everybody seemed pretty happy that I did it for you. Are you ladies okay?
Yeah.
Is she caught up? Okay, if I need to slow down, just let me know and I'll wait. So I want to make sure that we do everything together, that way we don't leave people behind. Okay, well, I'll help you with that in a second. Just pay attention to what we're doing and take notes on what we're doing, and I'll fix the individual issues with computers during the break. Okay? So we'll take a break in a minute. I just want to finish this thing that we've been trying to do now for a while, and then we'll take a rest. So all we're going to do is you could possibly come in here and type the information for every single event one at a time and hit create event and blah, 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 and you type every single one in, but I've already done that for you. So we're going to come down here and you're going to go load event, load list, bottom left. It's going to ask you to, where do you want to navigate to load your list? Okay? You're going to come into the folder for scripts again. Okay? Now, as you might imagine, we're going to be finding an events list. So you're going to come into that folder for events list. Okay? Now you're going to have a couple options here, but what we're going to do for now is, let's just grab this top one. Okay? It's the one that should say Advanced Events List, and man is short for our experiment using animacy and man-made. And it just gives you a date, 12/16/09. Okay, so make sure you grab that file. Some of the other ones might not work. Okay, so it's important that you just do that. Grab that one, 12/16/09, and hit open. Now what that will do is populate a bunch of stuff. Notice that you'll have 75 rows. So I was gonna have you guys write all that out. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna hook them up. I'll write these 75 fun rows out. Okay? So what this does is it gives us, for every one of our 75 event codes, it gives us a little label of what it was that happened. Was it animacy or was it man-made? And it gives us a number of the bin. So remember we talked about this idea of bins earlier in class? You can categorize this stuff of brain activity based on, and throw it into bins that say, was this information remembered or forgotten? Was it a hit? Was it a miss? We can bin the information, like you would bin your socks in one, put all the striped socks in one bin and all the colored socks in another. That's what our numbers here tells you what number bin it is, and it should go 1 to 75. You guys all see that? That's kind of our structure here with the file that we're working on. Alright, so all you got to do is basically hit apply on the bottom right hand side, and it should run. Now it's going to ask you, how do you want to keep your event types? Let's bump it up to numeric codes. So you just hit that number there that says numeric. Okay? Then hit apply. Now, is everybody here? Did that work? Did it not work for anyone? Okay, awesome. So here what it's going to ask us to do, it says, awesome, I just did what you wanted me to. What do you want the computer to do with the new data set that it just created? Okay? What we're going to do is it renames it. Okay, now it says it's subject 32, it's been resampled to 256 Hertz, and we've added an event list, or an E-list. Okay? So this tells us what it's been done. Okay? Now what I like to do is save it as a file. Okay? Now what we're going to do here is check that little box, and I hit browse. It's going to ask us where do we want to save it. I like to navigate to our EEG folder. Okay? Now, one thing I want to do here is I'm going to grab the name of this. And by touching that, it's going to populate the name of the file down here, because I want to keep this whole list of our name so that we always know exactly what was done to it. And we're going to add, at the end of chanlocks, a little underscore and type E-list for event list. Okay? E-list. Here's another little nifty trick that we'll do. Okay? When doing that, I'm going to highlight it, right click, and copy. Hit save. And now what it's going to do, it's It's going to populate what it's saved as in the folder and the name, but I want to paste in what we just copied. I want this title here to be the same name. Okay? I'll get you in just 1 second. And you can just paste that in. And now it's the same name that we have with high pass filter, 256 down sample, channel locations, and it has an event list added to it. Okay? That should work, and you should just say okay. Now, question back here?
I got it. I just didn't know if you could underscore or something.
Open Apple seat. I think it's open Apple seat. You can hit OK when you're ready. Okay, when you're done, just hit OK. Now it's me.
We can hit OK.
Yep, you should hit OK and that should work. And I think that's a pretty good spot to take a break for now. You guys feel like it's time for a quick break? Okay. You can rest, we'll come back in a couple minutes.